Hello. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Purpose Partner Path podcast. As you know, I'm your host, Coach Wendy Gladney, the Purpose Partner. And today I am so honored to welcome a woman whose life's work has opened doors of opportunities for hundreds of thousands of students. Yes, you heard me. Hundreds of thousands of students across America. Dr. Theresa Price is the founder and CEO of the National College Resources Foundation, also known as NCRF, an organization that she launched in 1999. So this is just not, Susie comes lately. No, she's been doing this for quite a while. Their mission is to help underserved, underrepresented, low resource, foster, homeless, and first generation students gain access to higher education and career opportunities. Over the years, NCRF has become one of the nation's leading college access organizations. You don't understand that word access because sometimes that's why we're left out. We don't have access. She has helped more than 700,000 students pursue higher education while connecting students and families with billions, and that's with a B, of dollars in scholarships, grants, internships, and career opportunities. And I have to say, I also see Dr. Price as a personal friend and someone who is so sincere, so genuine, and so kind. So today's episode is titled Changing Lives Through Education, a conversation with Dr. Theresa Price. So we always have this little thing we do every week. So go grab your cup of tea, whatever you like to drink, coffee, tea, juice, water, go grab it so that we can get started with a wonderful conversation.
Exhale, let go, and enjoy the Purpose Partner Podcast. Wendy Gladney.
So, Dr. Price, welcome to the Purpose Partner Path podcast. Talk to us.
Again, I just have to start. You can't sit there as I listen to everything you say and listen to, we make our plans, but God plans our steps. So
He does.
whoever would have known, if you would have said to me this, what you just said, I would be like, what you talking about, Willis? Like, what?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I never would have thought I would have ended up in education. I mean, I was in entertainment, and working in radio and managing artists and here. And I think all of that though was to help me with this. That's why he builds us to this. So I'm so blessed to be able to serve, to be able to help as many people as I can, as many students and families. And I just want to serve, Wendy. That is what National College Resources is. That is who I am. Anybody that is affiliated or works with us or part of us, it's that we're here to serve. We're here to add on to this beautiful world that God gave us.
It's interesting as I listen to you share that. I think that there's a few things that you and I have in common in terms of just externally, internally, our hearts are connected. But, we love the Lord. We love the community. We love serving and we love serving youth. What I also found interesting is now our nonprofit for Giving for Living is quite small, but we actually started the same year, 1999. Can you believe
Wow.
that? So we actually have that also in common that we've been around
Yes.
since 1999 and we've helped thousands of young ladies, but not quite as many as you have as it relates to just improving their self-esteem and letting them know they can go to college and making
Right.
sure that they connect and have access. That's why I talked about access when, that's sometimes the missing link that a lot of people have
Right.
is they don't know how to get in. So listening to you when you talk about you started in entertainment and radio and so forth, what do you think was the component or the piece that actually convinced you like, I need to do something else in the way I serve? And what was the origination of NCRF?
It just kind of happened. God put it in my lap. When I was in radio, I used to do on the air stuff, believe it or
Okay.
not. I used to be, and
I
that's the
believe it.
word. Yeah. I used to be, that's the
Believe it.
word on the station. I used to do this like community thing. And then I started I was account executive there, which meant I was responsible for getting all the people to come on and advertise on the station. And I would write their commercials and help them build their business. And so I was doing that in radio, and I was handling all the promoters, all the entertainment stuff. And then I ended up through that, I started managing recording artists, and helping them get their recording deals and managing their money and making sure they went to school. What's so interesting, two things. One, all of the artists were young. They were all under 18, which was very interesting.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, they were all young for whatever reason. That's just the way, the path that it
Way
had
God
given
did
me.
it.
Yes, yes. And then all of my sisters, I'm the youngest of 9, and I'm a oops baby. And I'm 9 years behind my brother that's even next to me, but my sisters were all educators.
Okay.
So growing up, them raising me, here comes this like, mom, more kids, like, come on, mom and dad. But it's like, I watched them in their, lesson plans. And it is so funny. I just remember them as teachers. When they were teachers, I was little. I remember that. And it's like, I would have never thought that. I remember them even saying, okay, we're all educators. You're going to major in something else. And I ended up majoring in broadcast journalism. So that's what's so interesting. So I think I knew that I loved in radio, I would help people grow their business. Think about it, help them grow, help them find the way. And then in entertainment, I help young people in terms of finding their way. So it's still serving, helping people. And I think with the young people, it just I just love helping people.
Yeah.
And then there's something about young people that's just like, oh my God, that's my drug. It's like, because you have these innocent minds that don't know how valuable and great and amazing and treasured that they are because of all the baggage and whatever atmosphere or environment or past, and it's like when they discover, because it was already there, that they are a diamond already. And when you just shine that diamond, you just like, and then it's like bright. It's just like when you see their eyes light up, it is the best feeling in the world. And
Right.
that is in radio, or, when I was in radio, it was like that. And then working in, music business, and it was that. And I think how it came then, it was like, I had started a marketing firm. So I had working in radio, then I decided to go start a marketing firm. And so when I started the marketing firm, it was like, we were talking one day, the assistant that I had, I think her grandfather was like a vice president or administrator at, I think it's Prairie View A&M, it was Prairie View A&M. And so we were just talking. It was like, oh, wouldn't it be great to do a Black College Expo? So that is how Black College Expo started, just through conversation. So the first year, we tried to start in 98, but we couldn't raise enough money to do it at the convention center, how expensive. And so 99, we were able to start doing the first one, which was February 28th, 2000, February 26th, 2000. And we had 35,000 people came out. So that just tell you, they came out, and it was so many people. The line was wrapped around the corner down the street. And so I never forget, the beat was big at the time. They were like, we need to be a part of this. And it was like, they were in line, and then they sent the riot gear police thinking it was going to be a riot. So they come in their helmets, they're with their batons, and all the people were there was for education.
I was going to say, learning more about how to get into college.
That's it. And that's when I knew that people were hungry. And from there, I just started going to speak to schools. I started speaking at schools. I went to all these schools, telling them why education was important. And here's where the light came on for me. I was at a school in East LA, predominantly Latino, like 99.9% Latino. And I want to say it was Roosevelt High or Lincoln High. I can't remember which one. I think it was Roosevelt. And I'm there at the school, and I'm telling them, I'm here to talk to you. I'm from the Black College Expo. And they're looking at me like, I said, but all schools I said, Black colleges want you too. And when I started talking to them about going higher education and why it was so important, and then I asked them, how many of you guys have taken the SAT 3 times? Nobody raised their hand. They're all seniors. Nobody raised their hand.
My God.
And then I had done my research, like they're seniors, they should have taken it. Then I said, how many have taken it 2 times? Nobody raised their hand. And then I'm like, okay, they've taken at least one. When I said, how many have taken it 1 time? Nobody raised their hand.
Get out of here.
And I'm like, and so instead of me like, what? I didn't do that. I just started. It's like God led me to start preaching more about higher education. So when I finished, they literally stood in line to talk to me. And they were coming up to me saying, Miss, they said, I have a 3.0. Can I go to college? Miss, they said I wasn't college material. Miss, can I? And I just started like sitting there and I was just like, I sit there, but I didn't let them see that I was like, huh? Like what? I just kept smiling, but I left there saying, wherever I go, whatever interview I do, whatever, I'm going to make sure I empower young people that they can do and be anything. And that is when the light came on to say, I got to do more.
Well,
And that is when I started, just,
knowing,
okay, just doing everything I could.
I was going to say, just listening to you, I've got these little notes in front of me. I have so many things I want to say. The first thing I'm going to start with is I'm a proud mother of a Spelman grad. And and even though I, had a grandmother who raised me, who graduated from a HBCU called Bishop, which is no longer with us.
That's now Paul Quinn.
Okay, so my grandmother
Just so you
and my
know,
grandfather.
Bishop College is now Paul Quinn.
Okay, and I knew I've heard of Paul Quinn now, but growing up, we didn't talk about HBCUs living in California. I mean, we didn't talk about that. We're going to get to that too. But and my grandmother, like I said, she met my grandfather at Bishop. My grandfather was actually a professor, and my grandmother was a student, and that's how they met. Got married, had 9 children.
Wow.
And went from there, eventually moved to California. But I just wanted to say, like I am, a proud mother of a HBCU grad. I'm also the granddaughter of 2 HBCU grads, but it still was not really talked about growing up. And then I wanted to comment when you were talking about the young students you were talking to at Roosevelt High School and so forth. I had like a 3.8 GPA in high school, and I was very popular. I was like head varsity cheerleader,
I believe it.
first African American to be homecoming queen at a predominantly white school.
Oh my God!
President of the BSU. Just on and on. I was involved with the newspaper. All that kind of stuff. And my counselor told me that the only school I could go to would be the local junior college. And I didn't know, really what to do because of my childhood, not having parents involved with my life at that time. And then my grandmother.
That's how I met you, from your heart. Your heart, guys, just so you know, this woman right here, she's a trailblazer and a warrior. What she has gone through and what she is doing and continues to do is, I know she's God's child. She's amazing. I just have to say that because I want to give you your flowers while you're able to see your flowers. You are amazing, Wendy. You're a trailblazer. You push through all. And let me tell you what you do. You push through with grace. You don't complain. You share so that you can let people know that, you could do this too. Your sharing is more, regardless of what you go through, you could do this too. But I want you to know you are so graceful in your approach to life and love and giving. So that's why what is it for your
for living?
Giving for living is just, it just is. I just want to share that with you. I know we weren't supposed to talk about it, but I don't care. There's times
it's your
she
show.
will not do it for herself. So I'm doing it for her. She's amazing.
Well,
so please support her. Whenever you see Wendy Gladney, be glad supporting her.
Thank you. So, but what I was going to share to you though is it was one of my high school teachers. There was only at the time 2 African American teachers at my high school in Riverside, and she came to ask me one day, and that's why I believe in the power of one, which is what you are. And she said, well, Wendy, where are you going to college? And I said, oh, the local, RCC, Riverside Community College. And not that there's anything wrong with junior colleges and community colleges, because there isn't. She said, what do you mean? And I told her, I said, well, my counselor said, blah, blah. She goes, where are your parents? I mean, like she started asking about everything. I told her I lived with my grandmother. She said, give me your grandmother's phone number. And she, along with her sorority sisters, I didn't even know what a sorority was back then. And she called my grandmother and said, can Wendy come over to my house? We want to sit down and talk to her about college. And my grandmother said, "Yes, yes, ma'am." And my grandmother was older
Uh-huh.
because my grandmother passed away at almost 100 years old, and
Oh my
so
God.
she was older, taking care of
Yes.
grandkids.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
anyway, I truly believe in the power of one, of what you're doing
Yeah.
and the journey that you're on and how important it is. And so one of the things I wanna talk about to you right now real quick is you often talk about making sure students know they matter, which is what you've been talking about,
Mm.
and that their dreams are possible. How do you do that in today's environment?
You have to spend time. I mean,
Mhm,
it's easy to sit there and easy to, talk in this huge audience, or you really have to meet students where they are.
mhm,
You have to really understand their heart. When I say heart, it's kind of deeper than in how they feel and how they feel right now and how they feel about them.
mhm.
Because there's so much baggage,
Yeah.
so many layers because of our environment and the stuff. And
Yeah.
then you take epigenetics, which is, people say slavery, whatever, but it's still in our DNA.
Yes,
So it
yes,
still exists in all of us. And
yes.
then you add on all the other stuff, homelessness, domestic violence, you know, just
The
all the stuff.
negativity that's in the world.
Yes,
Yeah.
gangs, police, all the things. So you really have to spend time, and it's a lot of time, because when I say spend time, you got to spend time understanding who they are, what they want to do, how can you help them in that? And I think we've done that in a way where we've done it in groups and in individuals. So, and in that, once they find out that they know somebody is supporting them, and that's just really being intentional about
I
support too.
understand that.
When
Mhm.
you're calling them, asking them, and then just, God always leads me to ask, like, okay, what's going on in your life right now? Like, what? And it's just like he's telling me like something's going on. And then they may share, and then I'm giving them an immediate something, because I want them to know that you might hear no's, but you're going to hear yes in life.
Yes.
But you got to
Mhm.
go for, there's always a yes.
Mhm.
So just know that. And I think our approach has always been to give them that yes, whatever it is, whatever, like just before I got on with you earlier, I was on with the parent. Her student got accepted to Sacramento State, and they're trying to figure out their funding short is 15,000. Well, I'm like, well, her GPA, and I spent time. I said, I looked at the GPA. I told them the resources that are available, and I actually gave them the resource. I'm like, here it is, fill out the account. You qualify for this. You're going to get $1,685 your first year. They're going to pay for your tuition and fees the second, third, and fourth year. And she's like, wow, I didn't know. But it's spending time and really helping them see it. And that might be sometime even financially. They might didn't eat last night. You might have to give them $20. You might, it's just really
I understand.
serving them. It's
Well,
serving.
it's about caring, and when you do something that God has called you to do and you do it on purpose, all of that kinda comes, because, um, I've had people, well, because this isn't
I've
about
watched you, so I know what you've done.
so,
I know you.
just giving, and then it's amazing how God will turn around and bless you in ways that you never knew, and I have had people think, "Oh, you're wealthy." I'm like, "I am not wealthy. What makes you
Mm-mm.
think that?"
Shoot, you're
You
like,
know?
I'm
I'm
wealthy in the Lord. I'm wealthy in the
self-employed,
Lord.
working every day, you know?
Yeah.
But what I wanted to comment about what you're saying about, spending time and listening and talking, it's like one of my, sayings from my heart when I'm meeting with people or talking with people and I'm listening to them, and then I sometimes would just say, "How can I encourage you today?" And Dr. Price, you would be so surprised how many people would say, "What? What did you say?" I said, "How can I encourage you today?" And they sometimes people have said, "Nobody's ever asked me that," or "I don't know. I don't know." But
And
that's
it could be all levels. It could be
yeah,
the person with the highest whatever.
yeah,
Because people assume that people are okay. And they feel like if you have money, you're okay. If you have fame, you're okay. If you
mhm,
have presence, but they don't understand that people are still people. We're all
yes,
still people. And
yes,
we all have the same needs and wants. We want to feel loved, needed, and wanted too. And it's
yeah,
not money that gives you that.
no,
It's not
no,
fame that gives you that.
no, not at all. And so let me ask you this, with the students that you serve in 2026, are you still dealing with first generation college students?
Yes. Oh, heck yes.
So how are
Oh,
you
yes.
helping them navigate that as I mean, because for example, I think of I'm probably the fourth generation, but my dad didn't go to college. My mother didn't go to college, but my grandmother did, and it was a different in the South, when they were like post-Reconstruction and all that kind of stuff. But you would think most of the kids by now have had at least one parent that has gone to college, but that's not true. So how
Mhm.
do you help them believe that they can still go to college now, even if they don't see an example in their home?
Well, you know what? Because they need to know that all things are possible. First, they got to know that all things are possible. They got to know and the thing is that college too, it's deeper than the degree because
That's what I talk about all the time. All the time.
yes, it's like people are just thinking, oh, you're pushing for it. It's deeper than the degree because you're in it creates relationships. Now it's almost like when you go to college, everybody's striving to be the best or something, or to be something, or to purposely do something, or to get, so your environment now is you're of those people that are grinding. So your makeup becomes different. Your mind, your eyes open up. You start realizing, why isn't there Whole Foods in Compton? But there's a Whole Foods in Beverly Hills. I mean, you just start looking. Why is I sure? You start seeing, so you don't fall for the okie doke. College
Yep.
does so many other things for you
Mhm.
that it takes your mind places that when you stay uneducated, on like you don't know when not you don't you're controlled by a system.
You
You're
don't know what you
controlled.
don't know. You don't
You
even know what
don't
you
know.
don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like they have to feed their brain. That's what I'm telling you. Have to feed your brain so that you don't fall for the okie doke. So you continue to strive for the best so that you can make sure you can take care of yourself and your family.
Yeah.
So it all starts with education, whether it's education about your health, whether it's education about your finances.
Yes.
You come on,
I mean,
you
all of
gotta
it. All of
because
it.
health. Look at our community when it comes to health because we don't know. We don't know that we should eat these kind of foods or not eat these fat or not have all these sodas or not. You don't know because you haven't been educated to even know what kind of nutrients or vegetables or fruits or what areas to buy. There's just so much we don't know.
I
And
agree.
that's why when I say education and I say college and advanced degrees is deeper than the degree.
And
It's
I
to educate.
absolutely agree with that because I've talked to people now who have talked about, oh, my kids aren't going to college. I'm like, what? They said we're going to teach them this or teach them that. They're going to, now with AI and blah 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 and whatever. And I'm like, but college is more than just the education. That's also where sometimes you get your tribe, your village. That's where you sometimes get exposed to people who can help you advance. So I agree with you. So let's
Yeah,
take a moment and let's talk a little bit more about some of the programs and things you're doing. Tell us about Students on the Move College and Career
goodness.
Planning.
We have we have 5 programs, and in those programs are programs. So our college access program
Okay.
covers, college access is one of our programs, and the Students on the Move, that is within that program. It's everything that's available to give students access to higher education. And that may
Okay.
be access to higher education when it comes to certifications. That may be higher to access to college education when it comes to even military opportunity. That's thinking beyond post-secondary. It's like post-secondary pursuits. What is that? What do you want to do after high school? But you got to think about taking care of yourself and your family. You know
Right.
what? And
Right.
if you love something, how do we turn that into something that can be something? Because I feel like, like people, like you mentioned college. Why do I should go to college? But say you want to do cosmetology. There's a young lady that just graduated. She didn't want to go to college, but we got her into college after I told her, well, what if you want to start a business? You want to know the best way. So then she ended up getting her business degree, and she just graduated from Benedict College in South Carolina,
Wow.
which is a HBCU.
Yeah.
And this was a kid that had a 1.6 in a continuation school, counted herself out, and spending time with her, sharing and letting her. She's been homeless since she was 10 years old. And now she accomplished something. You should see her now. Her face is up, her chin is up. You get confidence. You build self-esteem when you're investing in yourself. So when you talk about the college Students on the Move program, that is where we have hybrid and virtual and physical college and career advisors, where they
Okay.
actually help students navigate life in school, what they're going to do after high school, helping them be prepared for what's to come after high school,
Yes.
getting to know them, spending time. So they meet with their students ongoing. They meet with
Yes.
them weekly or whatever
Mhm.
works for that student schedule, whether they meet weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And when they meet with them, they're finding out, what do you want to do? What do you want to become? And let's figure out a plan for you to become that. So they may be giving them research projects. They may be saying, oh, you need to come on our college tour. They might say, come to one of our expos. They might say, okay, you're writing an essay. Let me see your essay. Let's see how we can make the essay look better. Let's have you apply. Do you know you want to you want to be a doctor? Here is a program that's free that you can do over the summer. So it's all of that. It's basically working with them, giving them a pathway to their post-secondary pursuit, whatever they want to do after high school, whatever they want to become as a career. That's what that program is.
Wonderful.
Whether you go 2-year, 4-year, whatever it is to make them also maximize their potential to become their best self. That's what the Students on the Move program is.
I love that. And I love the way you were sharing about how they can begin to really believe in themselves, because even with some of the work we do at Forgiving for Living, and then just my own mentoring, because I mentor young ladies and so forth. It is amazing how they blossom when they see that you really care, because sometimes I can remember going into when we were working at Jordan Downs for several years, and walk on the grounds there and everything, and they would give you the eye and what are you
Yeah.
doing here, and all that
Yes.
kind of stuff. And then sometimes they would say, oh, you're only here for a photo op or whatever. And then when
Yeah.
they start
Right.
to see that you're showing up every week,
Right.
and then when they see you, no makeup, no hair, and not your hair done, and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, come on, girls, ladies, let's get in
Yes.
this class, let's do it.
Yes.
And they're like, you really care. And it was hilarious, because then all of a sudden we started having their sisters, their mother,
See
all
what
showing up. And
yeah.
I'm kind of like, we're serving this age group. And next thing I know, we're like
You
this.
got all,
I'm like, oh
yeah.
my gosh, how can I do this?
Yes.
But people, like you said, people want to know that, they matter, and people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And so
Right.
that's
And you know
basically
what
the
that is?
philosophy.
What I love about what you just said,
Uh-huh.
when you think about it, when you start talking about ending and breaking poverty cycles,
Uh,
that is what that does, because you can engage the family. Because think about it, Wendy, if we just work, that's why we always say students and families. If we just work with the student, you're putting all that on the student to be able to change the trajectory of a family or generational, whatever that is, right?
yeah,
But if you can engage the family, and mom might need resources too. So now you have a family where you're really able to take in that family and literally stop their generational curses, their poverty cycle, break that poverty cycle that has
totally,
happened, which
totally.
is so important.
And you know what? And when parents see you care about their kids, their children, and then when children start seeing their parents, and especially for me, a lot of it was moms that would get involved. It just changes the whole trajectory. So let me shift real quick, because I want to make sure we stay pretty close on
I know
time.
it's so
So
much.
tell me, I know it goes so fast. So we talk a lot about HBCUs, and I was telling you that I'm from California,
Hmm.
and so I didn't grow up with really understanding the depth of it. I knew
Hmm.
historically I didn't even understand historically. I knew they went to Bishop. I didn't even think about it's an HBCU. But also, don't we have an HBCU coming to California?
Yes, thank God. I have to give God credit again, because, we've been in this HBCU space for 27 years in
Uh-huh.
terms of, and, I have become HBCU made. I'm the alumni of Virginia University of Lynchburg. Um, so it's like, it, people have been coming to me over the years saying, oh, we need to start a HBCU here, da da da. What people don't understand is that you can't start a HBCU here. When you
Right.
start saying it's historical, you have to actually have one to come here. That's how that expands their campus
Okay.
here. And God was able to share with me an opportunity. I have been working really closely with Houston Tillotson University out of Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Shout out to Dr. Melva Wallace, who is amazing, trendsetter, innovator. Um, we have been talking, and I know that they too, they're at the point where HBCUs are on the rise. So their enrollments have all increased, and they even rent out extra dormitory spaces at another college for their students. That's how much they have grown. So
Wow.
the opportunity to bring an HBCU here in California was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. And so I was on the phone with Dr. Paul Gotho, who was at the time the superintendent of schools for San Diego County Office of Education. And I was also on the phone with Dr. Madavi, President Pardis Madavi, who was the president at the time for University of Laverne. And we were all in talks, and God just said to me, this is the time. You got the right people, the right place. And so I talked to each one of them about, are you interested in bringing the HBCU here to California? So at the time we were talking about hosting it on University of Laverne's campus, and then also coming up with the location for the San Diego County Office of Education. And they both said, yes, we would love to do it. So we were all on the phone, and we met, and we're like, yeah. So I went on the Jennifer Hudson show. I said, okay, I'm going to the Jennifer Hudson show. I told the president of Laverne, and I told Dr. Wallace at Houston Television, HT, and I did not say San Diego County Office of Education because I knew people wouldn't understand that whole but I knew they understand college and college. It was too much and I know I didn't have the time to explain. So with that, we are bringing the first HBCU to California. We started this in 2024. We actually are opening up this fall. What is all the dynamics have changed in that we're starting in San Diego now. We're hosting it thanks to Pastor Terry Brooks, who is the pastor at Bayview Baptist Church in San Diego. They were formerly a school. He's a HBCU graduate from Texas Southern. So when I saw that things weren't going to mesh up to be right for this creation, because you got to have the experience, the HBCU experience.
Yes.
I was looking for a situation that can give the best platform for the HBCU experience. And so I reached out to Pastor Terry Brooks, and he said yes. I should say Dr. Pastor Terry Brooks. He said yes. So it's going to be on the campus of Bayview. What's so beautiful, that's where we host our San Diego Black College Expo, on that campus in that MLK Center there. And they used to have a school, a K-8 school. So they actually have classrooms and everything.
Wonderful.
It's set up. And they also have another, for future use, they have 9 acres that have not been used at all that they could actually look at growing, bringing dormitories, creating a community center, doing all these things that can really grow into this really nice situation in San Diego. So yes, so students and parents, if they're interested in, we're going to start with business and psychology, are the 2 areas of pathways in terms of degree pathways. So we're excited. Students can take 12 units and they would apply. We're working on, we should be launching the site soon for them to apply to go. So we're excited about that. They just submitted HT, the last paperwork for post-secondary schools for California. So hopefully we'll have that done back within the next few days. And that's where we are. So it is a historic move.
Well,
and
I'm going to say
so
I'm excited as being a Californian, and we're going to make sure at the end of the show that we put up your website and everything so that if people have questions, they can definitely go. But I also share a couple more things with you, and that is one of my clients that I helped many years with consulting, coaching, and also some events that they had was Piney Woods. Have you heard of Piney Woods? Yeah, Piney Woods is out of Mississippi. And it's and it was actually started by Kathy Hughes' grandfather.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now, is that a school? It's a school, right?
It's a boarding school. It's
yes, because I was
Piney
putting a
Woods.
student. I actually think I placed a student there.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and what's really interesting, this was many, many years ago that they were my client for quite a little while. And people always say, how did you start working for somebody in Mississippi? Well, they were trying to branch to come to California. And somebody said, you got to know Wendy Gladney, she'll help you, blah, blah, blah. But what was very interesting is, so I got to go there. I got to go to Piney Woods in Mississippi. And while I was there, they treated me so well. They took me all around where Medgar Evers lived, and because I love our history,
Awesome.
on top of that. But they had the weekend I was there, to get to know the school even better. They had somebody lined up to do it was the opening ceremony. It wasn't graduation. It was the opening ceremony of the school for that year. But it was very ceremonial with the robes and the tassels and all that kind of stuff. And the person that was to come to do the message got very ill and couldn't fly and couldn't get there. And so we're in this meeting, and I'm just sitting there like a bump on the log because, I'm a guest. And so the person who was it was Dr. Charles, I can't remember his last name now, was the president. But anyway, they were talking about, well, who we're going to get, because it was the next morning. And his wife read my book, The Preacher's Daughter. And she said, I think our speaker is sitting right among us. And everybody's looking around like, who, And she said, I think her name is Wendy Gladney. And I'm like, what? And I had never done anything like that, before. And I was like, no, that's okay. I mean, I'm just here to help you guys. And she said, that's the help. So, I ended up being able to speak, so
That is
before the class.
awesome.
So that was a blessing. And then finally, I was just going to share, my husband actually just finished doing a short-term assignment working for Cheney College
Awesome.
in Philadelphia.
In Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Just returned about 2 months ago, which is the first, they say, is the
That's
first.
the first HBC, 1837.
So now there's all this history. So we've had a depth of conversation. Before we leave, can you what would you like to leave us with today that we haven't already covered? Please just talk to me about that.
Man, I'll just say this. Most people know us, naturally, most people, with Black College Expo. And we also do a Latino College Expo, and we do a STEAM Expo. And then we do HBCU football combine and HBCU basketball showcase. And we do like 23 plus events every year. We do a lot. So that means every month we got something going. But I think most people know us from the Black College Expo, and they don't know that daily, every day, we work with students. And what that means is that we're working with them through a holistic, comprehensive intervention, mentoring, tutoring, college and career planning, student athlete. Every day we do that. And that's why we have the 5 programs, which are the college access that houses our students on the move. We have a dual enrollment program, the only organization in the world to have a dual enrollment program with HBCUs. It's usually districts that have it. We're an organization that we work with. We have school, dual enrollment with 4-year institutions. Then we also, that's all under that. And we have an internships and careers and entrepreneurial program. Most people don't know, just to help students be ready for the workforce or own a business. We have the movement enrichment program, which is in all the schools. Then we also have our STEAM program, and our A is for, everybody knows science, technology, engineering, but our A is art, agriculture, aviation, aerospace, artificial intelligence, and math. That is what that program. We're actually right now teaching students. Right now, girls. We have a girls Lady of Essence STEAM program where we're working right now all week with girls. Last week we did an environmental design camp where we just work with the environment. So we do that or those, and we have a vehicle that actually travels. It's a simulator, a steam trailer that goes out, and it actually teaches flight. It teaches programming, coding, 3D printing, all of those engineering, all of those programs. People don't know about, and AI and all of that. And then we also have our student athlete program to help student athletes understand the importance of education, but also help them get recruited at the next level and help them beyond the court or field, what they're going to do after sports. I have to say we have a historic thing happening July 1. I'm flying to DC because we're dedicating a Tuskegee Airmen. So National College Resources Foundation will be in the Smithsonian Museum listed. We're dedicating Tuskegee Airmen statues to the Smithsonian Museum. So a historic move we've been working on for the last 7 years. And finally, the display is going to be unveiled July 1st. So I'm really excited about that. And we have just, we're creating this I'm really wanting to create this ecosystem or ecosystem. Some people say ecosystem, some people say ecosystem. But the whole thing is to be a hub for our community of indigenous people. When I say that, the people will say, well, does that mean I can't do it because I'm white, because I'm this? No, it's for people that are underserved, underrepresented, at risk. You could be any color of risk, low resource. You could be any color to be low resource.
Right.
Homeless and foster students. That is what this hub is. I want students and families to know they always have a place to come to. If they're trying to change their career, if they're trying to get into college, if they're trying to get into a trade school, if they're trying to get a certification, if they're trying to go change careers, if they're trying to elevate their career, they're trying to get a raise, they're trying to grow. We want to be the hub for our communities across the communities across America. And it's those things. We're right now, I have to give a big shout out for Gilbert Family Foundation. We're working in Detroit with Dabo to improve the workforce in Detroit. We have a whole project that we're doing just in Detroit. We're building Detroit's workforce. We're making sure our kids, particularly focusing on 14 to 24, making sure those kids are equipped with the right tools to be able to elevate their life. If I had to just keep it simple, that's what it is. And it includes everything that I talked about. They're being given that. They're going to be, in scholarships and all of the stuff that they need to be successful.
Well, you and I are going to have to talk offline, because some of the places you've mentioned, there's got to be some other resources that we can throw your way as well. But please tell our viewers, how can they find you? How can they support you? What's the next step to find you and support you?
Okay, we're filled with educational love, guys, and empowerment. National College Resources Foundation. We are here to serve. Please reach out to us. You could either reach out. I don't care. I take all emails to Theresa at NCR Foundation. If you go, you could do info. If you don't know, it's always info at ncrfoundation.org. Info at ncrfoundation.org. Follow us on oh my God, we're on every platform from TikTok. Black College Expos on TikTok, NCRF TV. Probably don't know we have a TV station where we produce content and we produce shows, talk shows and everything.
I love it.
And that's why we want to promote. We're going to promote this show. So we are everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, or
all of
TikTok.
it. I understand.
You name it. But it's all designed to create an ecosystem so that you don't feel like you're out there by yourself. You're not on a ledge by yourself. You're not on an island. We want to bring you in and just hug you up and give you everything you need to be what you need.
Love it. Yeah. Dr. Theresa Price, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for taking time to be with us today. We support you, and if there's anything we can do for you, I can do for you. I'm here for you. And so until next time, I'm Coach Wendy, the Purpose Partner. Please visit my website at wendygladney.com and follow me on my socials. Please share this message once you hear it with anybody that you know, because all of us can benefit from the National College Resources Foundation. God bless. Bye-bye.
Exhale, let go, and enjoy the purpose. Partner. Podcast.